The winds are shifting here at Hallis Hall, and the noise surrounding the Chicago Bears has reached a fever pitch. We are looking at a critical juncture where every roster decision is being scrutinized under a microscope. From personnel departures to high-stakes draft evaluations and the constant search for depth, the front office is clearly working through a complex puzzle. As we navigate these developments, it is becoming increasingly clear that the path forward requires surgical precision. Let us break down exactly what is happening behind the scenes and what it means for the upcoming season.
The departure of Jonathan Owens from the Chicago Bears has certainly sent ripples through the fan base, not just because of the loss of a contributor in the secondary, but because of the high-profile nature of his household. When Jonathan Owens hit the open market and eventually decided to take his talents elsewhere to join a squad in the AFC, the reaction was immediate. Simone Biles, who has been a constant presence supporting Jonathan Owens throughout his tenure in the Windy City, recently broke her silence on the transition. For the Bears, this is more than just a headline. It is a tactical shift in how the defensive backfield is being constructed. Jonathan Owens brought a level of experience and physicality that served as a stabilizer for the unit during his time here. Losing a player who understands the intricacies of the scheme and has the locker room presence that Jonathan Owens possessed is never an easy hurdle to clear. From a strategic standpoint, the front office must now pivot quickly to address the gap left behind. We have to look at the salary cap implications and the overall defensive philosophy that the coaching staff is trying to implement. Jonathan Owens was a versatile piece, capable of moving around the formation, which is exactly the kind of hybrid player that modern NFL defenses crave. The fact that he is now moving to the AFC means the coaching staff has to find someone who can replicate that versatility without missing a beat. It is a tough pill to swallow for some, but in the professional landscape, turnover is a constant. We are seeing a complete recalibration of priorities here. The question we have to ask ourselves is whether the team is looking for a direct replacement or if they are going to pivot toward a different profile of defensive back entirely. The emotional weight of losing a guy like Jonathan Owens is real for the supporters, but the business side of the game moves on regardless of personal attachments. We have seen how quickly the market for veteran safeties can dry up, and the Bears are now in a position where they have to be aggressive. This move creates a vacuum that needs to be filled with someone who can handle the speed of the professional game while maintaining the discipline required in the back end. As we look at the defensive depth chart, the absence of Jonathan Owens leaves a void that will likely be the subject of much debate in the coming weeks. Are we looking at a veteran signing to bridge the gap, or will they trust the younger guys on the roster to step up? The coaching staff's silence on their specific plan for the position has only fueled the speculation. We know that the front office values high-motor players who can contribute on special teams as well, and that was a significant part of what Jonathan Owens offered. Without him, that unit takes a hit, and that is an area that often flies under the radar until it becomes a liability on Sunday afternoons. As we digest the news of his departure and the public commentary surrounding it, we have to look ahead. If the back end of the defense is going to hold up against the high-powered offenses in our division, there is zero margin for error. The transition from Jonathan Owens moving out of the locker room to the next phase of the team's defensive strategy is happening right now. It forces us to wonder if this is the start of a larger purge or if it is just a singular change in direction. How do you replace a veteran who brought so much stability? The answer might not be found in free agency, but rather in the draft, which leads us to a very intriguing conversation about the future.
If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get exclusive deep dive insights on every move the Chicago Bears make this offseason, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We are breaking down every angle of this roster rebuild.
Moving from the veteran departures to the future of the organization, the conversation has shifted toward the draft, where the Chicago Bears are being strongly urged to double down on their defensive identity. The buzz around the facility and among league circles is that targeting an All-American defender in the first round is not just an option, it is a necessity. When you look at the landscape of the NFC North, the need for an elite disruptor off the edge or a lockdown presence in the secondary becomes glaring. We are talking about a transformative talent that can change the complexion of the entire defense from day one. The scouting reports on these top-tier collegiate defenders are glowing, and the analytics support the move to secure a blue-chip prospect. For an organization that prides itself on a rich history of defensive dominance, this draft represents a golden opportunity to get back to those roots. The argument for taking a defensive stud here is simple. You need to be able to stop the elite passers in this league, and you do that by winning at the line of scrimmage. If the front office can land a game wrecker, it immediately elevates the ceiling of the entire unit. We are talking about a player who can force turnovers, create pressure, and shorten the field for the offense. This is about building a foundation that can sustain success over the long term. The scouting department has been putting in countless hours evaluating the tape, and the consensus seems to be that the talent available in this class is deep. There is a specific type of prospect being identified as the perfect fit for the team's current defensive scheme, a high IQ player with rare physical tools. This is the kind of move that signals to the entire locker room that the team is serious about competing at the highest level. If they pass on a defensive anchor, they risk falling behind in the arms race that has become the standard for NFC playoff contenders. The tactical analysis here is clear. You cannot rely solely on free agency to fill these critical roles. The draft is where you find the core of your team, the guys who are going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years. The debate is now whether to trade up or stay put and let the board come to them. We have seen teams successfully build through the draft before, and this feels like the right year to commit to that strategy. The energy in the building is focused on finding that singular talent who can command the field. When you look at the potential impact, it is hard to argue against adding someone who was a consensus All-American. These players have been battle-tested against the best competition in the country, and they have consistently risen to the occasion. They understand the pressure, they know how to prepare, and they have the instincts that you simply cannot teach. As we look at the draft board, the names being floated are becoming more specific. It's not just about picking the best player available, it's about picking the best player for the specific culture they are building. The team needs someone who fits the mold of a leader, someone who can step into a room full of veterans and command respect immediately. We have seen how defensive-minded coaches can maximize the potential of these young stars, turning raw talent into production. This is exactly the kind of investment that pays dividends when the season is on the line. The pressure is on the front office to make the right call, because in this league, you are only as good as your last draft class. If they hit on this pick, it could accelerate the timeline for success significantly. But what happens if they miss, or if they decide to go in an entirely different direction? The anticipation is mounting, and every report from the scouting combine has only heightened the stakes. We are waiting for the final word, but the writing on the wall seems to point towards a heavy emphasis on talent acquisition on the defensive side of the ball. This brings us to the next layer of the puzzle, because as we look for new stars, we also have to consider the depth pieces who might be filling in the gaps.
The final piece of this complex off-season puzzle is the suggestion that the Chicago Bears have received an intriguing recommendation for a replacement for Nahshon Wright. Depth is the secret ingredient to any deep playoff run, and the departure of a player like Nahshon Wright leaves a specific opening in the rotation. We are looking at a situation where the team needs a reliable contributor who can step into sub-packages and handle specific coverage assignments. The names being suggested are varied, ranging from experienced veterans who can provide immediate stability to high-upside developmental prospects who could blossom under the right coaching. The front office is taking a systematic approach to this evaluation, analyzing everything from special teams proficiency to scheme fit. It is vital to find someone who can play within the structure of the defense without needing to be the primary focus of the game plan. Nahshon Wright played a role that required high football intelligence and the ability to adapt to different looks, and his replacement must have those same traits. We are hearing reports that the front office has been in contact with several agents to gauge interest in a potential depth role. The market for these types of players is often competitive, as every team in the league is looking for reliable, cost-effective talent to round out their roster. For the Chicago Bears, this move is about maintaining the integrity of the secondary. If you have a weakness in your third or fourth cornerback spot, modern offensive coordinators will exploit it relentlessly. That is why this decision is more critical than it appears on the surface. We have seen how injuries can derail a season, and having a ready-to-play backup is the difference between winning and losing those tight games in November and December. The analysis here is focused on finding the right balance between cost and production. You do not want to overspend, but you also cannot afford to get it wrong. The coaching staff has a very clear vision for how they want the back end to look, and they are looking for specific athletic markers. If the team finds the right player to replace Nahshon Wright, it will solidify the rotation and give the defensive coordinator the flexibility to move people around. This is a game of chess, and every move on the roster is a piece being positioned for the season ahead. We are watching the team methodically address every weakness, whether it is a high-profile exit or a depth chart adjustment. The cumulative effect of these moves is what defines the identity of the team.
As we look at the potential candidates, we have to consider the impact on the locker room culture as well. The team has been working hard to build a specific atmosphere, and any new addition needs to be the right fit. It is about more than just the talent, it is about the mentality. We are looking for players who want to be here, who want to buy into the vision, and who are willing to do whatever it takes to help the team win. The front office understands this, and they are leaving no stone unturned in their search for the right personnel. It is a meticulous process, but it is one that is necessary if the team is going to reach its goals. We are tracking all of these developments closely, and the reports suggest that a decision could be coming sooner rather than later. The intensity of the offseason is only increasing, and we are right here to bring you the latest as it happens. With the draft approaching and free agency still in full swing, the next few weeks are going to be absolutely pivotal for the future of the franchise. The pieces are moving, the board is being set, and the anticipation is reaching its peak. Every decision made now will have a direct impact on the success of the team when they finally take the field for the start of the season.
We are at a defining moment for this organization. From the departures in the secondary to the high-stakes decisions awaiting us in the draft, the Chicago Bears are clearly in a state of rapid evolution. It is a lot to process, but that is the reality of the NFL today. Every move, every draft pick, and every depth signing is part of a larger plan to get this team back to the top of the division. I want to hear from you. Do you think the team should prioritize that All-American defender in the first round, or is there a different position that needs more urgent attention? Drop a comment below. Let's get the discussion going, and I will see you in the next report.